Thinking plans to close its centre in Suffolk following a campaign by the local community. The Blue Cross Centre in Felixstowe was earmarked for closure earlier this year to allow the charity to focus funds elsewhere. It's now been given a reprieve while the managers try to find money for an upgrade.
The Norfolk and Suffolk Broads could be elevated to the same status as some of the world's most famous tourist attractions if an application to become a World Heritage Site is successful.
The Broads Authority is considering making the bid to help promote and preserve the historic waterways, as Kate Prout now reports.
The pyramids, New York's Statue of Liberty, Machu Picchu in Peru and the Norfolk Broads. The Norfolk Broads, you say? Favourite of boaters, sailors and day trippers? Home to a myriad of unique and important wildlife? Yes, that's right. They could join a prestigious list of 890 World Heritage Sites, bringing a welcome boost to tourism.
I think it's got to be a good thing for us. Anything that draws more people into the area, gives a flag for the Broads, makes it stand out from anywhere else, has got to be good. We're an industry where a lot of people came here when they're younger and tend to have forgotten about it, so anything that sort of reflags up that idea of a Broadland holiday has got to help us.
So there are 63 Broads in total, most of them in Norfolk, but some in Suffolk as well. And there are man-made pits, peat pits, that were dug out originally in the Middle Ages. They are already a national park, and the Broads Authority votes next week whether to go ahead with the bid.
Actually, the United Kingdom has a lot of cultural sites, if you like, city centre kind of sites, or cathedrals, or abbeys and castles, that kind of thing. What it doesn't have on the list is very many natural sites, and the Broads is a wonderful amalgam of both being a cultural site, being created by men in the first place, but then actually a wildlife site now, and that makes it so much more special.
It's a long application process, but the reward, one of our most treasured possessions, recognised in an international spotlight. Kate Prout, Anglia News, the Broads in Norfolk.
Certainly is beautiful at this time of year. Now, 2 students from Norfolk are cycling from John O'Groats to Land's End in tribute to one of their teachers who died last year. Richard Kennett and Tom Mitchell from Costessey High School are setting off in memory of their French teacher, Luke Day, who drowned while on honeymoon in Egypt. They're raising money to help maintain the school's French exchange programme.
Norwich City's promotion to the Championship will be celebrated with a civic reception and open-top bus parade next Thursday. The Canaries were confirmed as League One champions at Carrow Road almost a fortnight ago, returning them to football's second tier at the first attempt. The parade will start at St Stephen's Street and it will finish at Norwich Castle.
Now, among the millions of people casting their votes tomorrow will be thousands of 18-year-olds getting their chance to exercise their democratic rights for the very first time.
Well, back in 1997, we spoke to 3 first-time voters in the region, and we've been back to see them at each election since.
So, how have their priorities and voting intentions changed over the past 13 years? We sent our reporter Tom Barton on a trip across the UK to find out.
3 teenagers from a Norwich high school. In 1997, they were 18 and voting for the first time, each for a different party. There was Laura, the Labour supporter, Gerard, the Conservative, and Lib Dem voter, Adam.
Of course, in 13 years, life moves on. And so to catch up with the first of our class of 97, I've come here to Brighton.
It's 5 years since we last caught up with Laura Bissonnet, and in that time, a lot has changed. Most significantly, the arrival of Matilda, now 6 weeks old.
Has becoming a mum changed your kind of views on politics or influenced the things which are important?
I suppose it may not have done at the moment because she's so little, but I'm sure it will do over the next few years. As she gets bigger, it will be more of an issue. And I suppose that schools and what's going to happen to her in the future, it probably is something I think about a bit more already.
When we first met Laura, she was staunchly Labour and delighted with the 1997 election result.
I think when the exit polls came in, I sort of had a feeling, and then when we had the first Labour game, and then later on Norwich North, then I sort of knew.
4 years later, she voted Labour again, and also did so in 2005. But what's her plan this time?
Well, I think I'm going to try and vote Green, which there's a big campaign in this area to get a Green MP in, and it'd be really nice to see a Green MP, to see the first Green MP in, and they've got a good chance here as well. And a lot of their policies I kind of believe in and think they're really good.
A lot has also changed in the life of our second panel member in the last 5 years. Adam's bought and sold his first flat, and he's now married.
Hi.
Hi.
To our other panellist, Green Party voter Laura. The question is, does marital harmony extend to agreeing over politics?
I voted Liberal Democrat.
Back in 1997, Adam voted Lib Dem. Over time, his views have changed.
And I like Charles Kennedy. I think he's actually a really good, sound man. I'm kind of torn between Liberal Democrats and the Greens.
Probably going to be Green. It was the same as last time, really.
It seems this is a marriage of ideas as well as love.
We tend to agree on most things, though, I think. I don't think I could have been in a relationship with somebody who had completely polar opposite views to me, because I think that they're too important to me. I think that's at the end of the day, I think, you know, they're my beliefs.
I'm a Conservative supporter.
Our third panellist, Gerard, was a Tory back in 1997. Have his views changed at all over time?
I will be voting Conservative as per last time.
Well, I'm planning to vote Conservative again.
His political views might not have changed, but his location certainly has.
To catch up with Gerard, we've had to come even further afield, to here in Cardiff.
Gerard moved to Wales to study, what else? Political history. 13 years later, he's still studying. In fact, he's just completed a PhD. Taking the long view, he thinks Labour have had their chance.
The government that we currently have is substantially the same old gang who have been in power since 1997. If they were going to deliver real change, they would have done so by now.
For Gerard, Adam and Laura, life has changed massively in the last 13 years. And like millions of others, they'll be casting their vote again tomorrow. 6-week-old Matilda, though, will have to wait till 2028 before she gets her first chance to do the same. Tom Barton, Anglia News, Cardiff.
Well, we can rejoin our political correspondent Matthew Hudson now. So, Matt, a real massive change in the mood that we saw back in 1997.
Oh, this is a very, very different beast. 1997 was a foregone conclusion. This election is about nails bitten down to the quick. And you know, there will be constituencies perhaps in our region which are decided by a handful of votes. I mean tens of votes, not hundreds. And the results of perhaps a dozen constituencies like that across the country could have a massive impact on the makeup of the next parliament. So tomorrow night, tune in to ITV. Stay up as long as you can, because this is going to be pure drama. Love it.
Well, Matt, we'll let you get off to prepare for that. Thank you very much. Well, the final news hour before the election continues after this, with the national team also reflecting the frantic last-minute efforts, no doubt, of the party leaders before the polls open. It's getting exciting. Well, finally, a little light relief, shall we, from the election before the polls open tomorrow morning. We've featured, it has been different, hasn't it? We've certainly featured a few animals suffering identity crises over the months, but the latest, well, that's decidedly seasonal, isn't it?
Yes, it certainly is. Yes, ducklings are a common sight around about now, but being looked after by a hen, well, this happy union is all taking place at a garden centre in Woburn Sands in Buckinghamshire, where, very cute, where the hen was encouraged to adopt the chicks after their mother disappeared.
How could she? Well, as you can see, she's doing a fine job. I think we counted about 11 before. Mind you, I'm not sure how she's going to handle those extremely awkward questions, is she? On, what is it, how to swim? They're going to come up, how to fly, Mum? How do we do that? All that sort of stuff.
How to vote, maybe? That could be another one. You never know.
Ask your dad. That's usually the way, isn't it?
Certainly ask your dad,
find
I
out
think
where he is. Right.
Well, let's find out. Anyway, what's happening with the weather now with Amanda Houston.
Hello and good evening. So it's not been too bad across the region today. And as we head into that all-important polling day tomorrow, not looking too bad either. Now, if you're out and about casting your vote tomorrow, then there will be quite a bit of cloud around first thing, but it is staying generally dry out there. And we will see some good amounts of bright or sunny spells, especially as we go into tomorrow afternoon.
So the countdown to the election is on. Join me at 10:30 for the late bulletin. I'll have the latest.
Yep, the weather's looking good for tomorrow to head out to the polls. We will hopefully see you again tomorrow. Bye-bye.
Look forward to it. See you then. Bye-bye.
Bye.